Thanks for watching AI in Azure, a series of videos on using artificial intelligence and machine learning on Microsoft Azure platform. My name is Kevin Ashley. I'm an engineer and author at Microsoft. This episode is about automating machine learning in Azure MLOps and Azure ML pipelines. The best practices for machine learning often involves the entire lifecycle of data science operations, from loading your data to training the model, registering the model in the cloud, and making it available to your clients through an API. Now repeat that process and we get to the concept of MLOps, or machine learning operations. With MLOps, you can define repeatable and reusable steps for data preparation, model training, and scoring. In this module, we'll build a practical MLOps pipeline, including training the model, deploying it, and monitoring. For most practical examples in this series, we'll be using Azure Machine Learning SDK, which allows us to build machine learning pipelines and workflows using your favorite development tools. We can explore, prepare, and manage life cycles of your data sets, manage cloud resources, train models, deploy web services to convert your trained models to data points available to your clients. Before we start using Azure Machine Learning SDK, let's take a quick look from 30,000 feet at some of the objects that are important for Azure Machine Learning. Once you get Azure Machine Learning SDK installed, the first object you typically connect to is called the Workspace. The Workspace is a container for all things in Azure Machine Learning. Your experiments, your runs, your pipelines, your data sets, your models, also your compute instances, your cluster. Pretty much everything that defines your experiments, your runs, your machine learning operations is contained within a machine learning workspace. A machine learning workspace is just another resource in Azure. You can access it in the familiar Azure portal interface, and the important thing about the workspace is being a container, it has a configuration file. And you can always click on this download config JSON file, download it to your local device, and then when you access the workspace, you can simply use the from config method of the workspace object to automatically connect to the workspace you're looking for without some additional clicks. For your convenience, there's also an explicit way to connect to the workspace by providing the name of the workspace, subscription ID, and the resource group. The next concept that will be important in our Azure machine learning work is the concept of experiments. An experiment in Azure Machine Learning is a set of trials or runs for your machine learning models. In order to create an experiment, I simply import the experiment from the Azure ML module, and then I pass it the workspace, and then I create the experiment. After running this and listing the current experiments in the workspace, you can see that I have my experiments listed within my ML workspace. I already mentioned that each experiment is a collection of runs. Now, in order to get the list of runs within the experiment, we can simply use the getRuns method and then iterate through the run IDs. Sadly, I do not have any runs within my experiment, and this collection is empty. But this is something that we'll get to as we start training our models in the following episodes. Another feature of MLOps is being able to manage the models in the cloud. And that usually includes storing the models in the cloud, but also being able to track the versions of the models and provide some tagging information or metadata for the models. You can register your model from code or from Azure Portal by clicking the Register Model button. Registering the model from code is very easy. You simply provide the name of the model, the folder where the model is located, description of the model, and any tags that you can classify this model with. And then you provide your workspace to the register method for model. Once the model registers, you should be able to see that in your Azure portal. In this episode, we covered some of the fundamental concepts of MLOps in Microsoft Azure. We covered the workspace, experiments, runs, and the foundation of model management. In the next episodes, we'll discuss training our models and running our experiments.